Like, explain that. Why does he need that? Why can't he just do that? Nothing could be said about him. He had no hose, but it should be two. It should be two weaknesses because he's. Hi, my name is Brian McHatton, and good characters punch hard. We're pretty spoiled with how much media is out there, and there are a lot of great characters. Some are righteous and zealous, others utilitarian, some are apathetic, others money minded, some are evil, some are good. But what makes them a good character? Like, what makes us say, "Oh, I like this guy"? These characters have a wealth of backgrounds from average Joes, businessmen, priests, kings, lawyers, doctors, spacefarers, charlatans, gladiators, military operatives, dragons, there's deities, and there's a noble farmer. But what makes them a good character? There's a lot of different characters that I really enjoy. There's Tanis from Dragonlance Chronicles. There's this dude from Gladiator 2 who just aura farms on his rhino. There's Frieza from Dragon Ball. There's Sabrin and Eid from Prior the Orange Tree. There's also Jack McFarlane from the Western horror short story by Brian McCatt. But there's not a clear through line. Like there's no recipe. You can't just add a bit of that, add a bit of this, and then boom, you got a good character. Like there's no through line. There's no secret recipe. There's just good characters and there are bad characters. There's ones that are punchy and then other ones that fall flat. So what makes all of these characters click with me? Like with us, like what makes them good or entertaining or likable? Because as a reminder, some of these people are psychopaths. Like this dude is riding a rhino to execute someone for public enjoyment and recreation, and Frieza blew up planets, like, and enslaved people. Like, so what makes people like them? It can't be because they're good guys. Just straight up, like, they're not good people. You would not be friends with these dudes. Now, I'm gonna talk about who I find as good characters, and what makes them good is that they are punchy. They can be easily explained. They have motivations, and how they go about stuff can be easily explained. What they might do in a story might be complex, like the sagas that they go through, but overall, they are a explainable character. Now, usually I like black and white, good and evil. Like I like a great good guy. Now, that being said, dude, I love Frieza. Like, dude, opposite. Dude sucks, but I still like him. He's still a good character. I'm gonna talk about that man first. Frieza is an alien enslaver prince who only held back by his pride and thinking that he's better than everyone. So he just never realizes his true potential. Tanis is a bastard who leads his friends through thick and thin to save the world and denies himself basically all of his desires. Eid is an undercover fire priest protecting a queen of a rival religion with shared figures. Sabrin is that queen whose matriarchy's literal survival depends on her giving birth. Aura Farm Guy is a badass gladiator who rides a rhino. And the ever well written Jack McFarlane is a frontiersman in Texas trying to protect his family from demons. Alright, so what makes them good? Well, those were the answers. That's what the whole video is about. Good characters punch. Good characters are punchy. Good characters are explainable. Good characters can be described in a sentence or two. Now, that's not to say that if you can describe a character in one sentence, they're good. That's just not true. Like, remember Snoke, that one ugly dude from Star Wars, the sequels? That guy sucked. That dude actually just sucked. I can describe him in one sentence as Kylo Ren's master and puppet of Lord Palpatine, who apparently was just alive on a planet somewhere with ready and able Starfleet for like 30 years, just chilling, apparently. Enough about that guy. But he had nothing going on. He had no motion. I didn't really feel anything when he died, even though his own apprentice killed him. Like that should have resonated. That should have been a shock in theaters. I was like, oh, here we go. Like he wasn't well defined, and ultimately he fell really flat. I was really disappointed. That dude, he's hardly a villain in my mind. And on the flip side of this, you have characters like Superman, and don't crucify me. I haven't watched the new Superman. I wrote this script before the new Superman shit came out. Whereas Snoke had no motion, nothing could be said about him. He had no hose. Superman is like the opposite, where he's got a ton of stuff going on. But in my mind, like he just doesn't resonate the same way that other superheroes do. Or specifically, the way that aforementioned heroes and characters resonate with me personally that I've already mentioned in this video. Like what cannot be said about Superman? He's a human-like alien from a faraway planet who was sent here as a baby because his planet got wrecked, and he was raised in Kansas, and he can fly, and he can shoot lasers, and he can leave buildings in single bound, and he can do everything. He's got X-ray vision, and his only weakness is kryptonite. But it should be two. It should be two weaknesses because he's got that trashy ass disguise. Like, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is a list of Superman abilities. Heat vision, flight, superhuman breath, invulnerability, strength, microscopic vision, shapeshifting, super ventriloquism, super eating, super smelling. What does super eating mean? Like, explain that. Why does he need that? Why can he just do that? This dude is literally Jesus. And I'll be real, it's boring. I don't like him. It's not good. It's not interesting. He has no punch. And I know that there will be some Superman apologist who will sit here and say, "Nah, man, you don't understand, man. Superman is the best, man. He actually has like hella weaknesses, man. You just don't get it, man." Bro, screw you. As far as like 99% of the world knows, he is basically an omnipotent deity. When these characters who get on screen or on a page or on a stage or whatever have no punch to them, it gets boring. Either they're drab and you don't even know really why they're there, or they're overly complex and every situation feels trivialized by their existence. All these characters have a rather communicable identity and they still have pizzazz. Like don't get me wrong, there's a difference between these dudes and background characters. Eve isn't just a guard. She isn't just a lady at court. There's tons of those people in the book and throughout the whole entire series, but being able to describe someone simply isn't the argument. And background characters are needed too, but they often aren't the ones that we adore, that we have shirts of and stuff like that. We have merch of. The ones I fall in love with are ones with an identity. Star Wars: The Original Trilogy actually does this quite well. I know I shat on them earlier. I'll sing their praises now. When Darth Vader first appears and he's in his like crazy black drip suit, distinguished from everyone else with his walk up music and just like chokes out someone, as a viewer, we know exactly who this MF is. He's a bad guy. When Han Solo is in a weird cantina and gets in a shootout after negotiations went south, and really no one bats an eye, then flips the barkeep a coin and says, "Sorry about the mess. We get it." It's done quickly, concisely, it's punchy, it's good. We know exactly who this dude is. Now, these characters aren't without context. The media that we see them in, whether it's a book or a movie, an epic poem, song, album, plays, whatever, are a lot of times complex. But simple, punchy characters still thrive within complex stories. In fact, I'd argue that they thrive more. Like their identity isn't so big that it gets in the way of the thing that is actually entertaining, which is the story, right? The characters aren't just interesting on themselves. They might, look visually interesting, or they might be appealing in some way for their personality. But the thing that actually entertains us usually is the story. When a character is too big for the story, when they can do this and that and everything else, it's bad. Oftentimes in writing, it's called a Mary Sue, and it trivializes things. It makes things uninteresting. There's no tension. There's no drama. There's no friction within like the broader story when someone can do literally anything. When you're sitting there at the edge of your seat and Superman is stuck in a block of lead, and then he super eats himself out of it, that's where you lose me. That's where it feels like, all right, what can't this MF do? And I feel like when a character is simpler, when they have an identity, when their identity is unique, one, they usually feel more personable and it limits what they can do. It forces creativity not only on that character but also on the creator to think of a dramatic way that a character gets out of a situation or fails. When a character is punchy, when they can be described succinctly within a few words of what their motivations are, who they are as a person, what they do, it's compelling. They feel more human. So next time you make a D&D character, if you're writing a book or a story or a play, if you're making an alter ego for your rap EP, make them punch. Good characters punch.